Hello. Well, welcome to the R&D Café.
Well, it is just wonderful. I have my R&D Cafe coffee cup
hmm
too.
Me too. And I'm
No
so
coffee.
excited.
I have water in mine because it's a little late and I don't want to be awake for hours and hours and hours. So I'm doing water.
Okay, thank you for that. And we have another special episode because last week we had our dear friend Manny Zamora that we
Yep.
adore. Like he's the best person that I would say he's the best human that's ever existed. I'm watching him backstage to see his reaction, and he didn't react, so that means that he obviously knows it's true. Like it's an honest.
He obviously believes that that's true.
He
That's
no,
all I
he
that
knows
is,
that
that
it's
is what he believes. I know. I mean, that's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to be. He is the most beautiful, precious,
mm,
amazing human being, Manny Zamora, that's ever existed.
yes. Well, just he when you see the hat, everybody, you're gonna realize that it's even more than that. He's
Here's the
even
thing. Last week we had him on. We had Nick Temple, and we showed the
yes.
first several parts of the Nick Temple, which is an AI episode that he has written and produced as a short film. Now this is his second one. He did Shumal for Life, which is his first long one,
Mhm.
which is an adaptation of a short story that I wrote. Now he wrote this one, Nick Temple, which is the one he did last week. And now he's venturing into AI animation. And that's what we're going to get to talk about today. So let's
We're
bring him on.
all right, let's bring him on. The best human in the world. Hello, Manny.
Hello.
I just
Thank
loved
you.
seeing you backstage when I said that, and you were like, "Yeah, it's so obvious." Like, come
He's
on.
cool.
Like,
He's cool. He's
Mhm.
there.
yeah,
He's ready. He's at. Well, I am really excited about this opportunity to be able to see because I believe that AI and where we are currently in the AI verse, in the production verse, is ideally suited for animation. I was watching some of the earlier animations and some of the animations that are on there, and they are not, and they are certainly within the realm of where animation is and the AI is today. So I can't wait to show this today.
Okay. See,
He
I
just
told you he's
nods.
very
He doesn't
confident. I
care.
told you
He
he's
doesn't.
very
I mean, he's
confident.
so
I
cool. He's
I
so
love
cool.
his
He doesn't have to
confidence.
say. He doesn't have to say shite. He
You
just
know
well,
what
looks
he
back and
is?
goes, "Yeah, yeah, I'm cool.
Because
I
he's
got
like
this."
the quarterback at the locker, and all the people are passing by just like trying to be his friend, and he's like, I know, he's like leaning up
He
against the
doesn't
locker.
even. Doesn't even have
Doesn't
to.
phase him at all. But I wanted
Yeah.
to say this about him. Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like
Having those
I feel like I need a cigarette
I
right now.
know, that's what I'm saying. Okay, but Manny, you are a storyteller, okay? So
Yes.
and Dennis always talks about how much he loves because Dennis is also a storyteller, and he
Yes,
loves
he
the
is.
fact that you are a storyteller. I love the fact that you're a storyteller, and it comes out in all these different ways. You do the graphic art, now you're doing AI art. Obviously, you've written scripts, you've written it's incredible. But I wanted to ask you before we got started here
Hmm.
about your foray because I just watched an RSC with Dennis where he talked about storytelling. So I'm thinking about you as a storyteller and how that started. And Dennis, is that okay for us to say before
Oh
we
God,
watch?
I would love to. I
Okay.
would love to. I'd love to hear more about that because I've heard you talk about it some, but I want to talk about this venture into storytelling because you
Mm-hmm.
and I both got hooked early on television.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned television because I think that's where it began. This attraction to telling stories and especially visual stories is, I came in on we are of an age where we started with when there
We
was
are not
network.
our age. You are a generation younger than I, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, yeah, a few years, sure. But we both, we both started off with network television, before cable, before streaming, before all of that, when there were basically, five channels and shows ran for, 20, 24, 25 episodes. And and you had your favorites. And I still remember when we started with a black and white TV, and then color came in, and and so now here we are at this point in time, and yeah, it just fostered a love of storytelling, and also I was a huge, and still am a huge reader. always loved books.
Always.
Pretty much from the moment that I was consciously able to understand words and understand reading, I was hooked.
Yep.
And at some point, I found that I had the ability to tell my own stories. I started writing down little. Of course, you start off and they're copycats. You copy what you read, what you know,
Yep.
and so yeah, they were very derivative. But as I went on and as I studied and learned the craft of writing, the craft of storytelling, I discovered my own voice, as it were, my own method of telling stories. And then, of course, I've recently been able to combine that with this other thing that I can do, which is to draw. And as Dennis loves to point out, I created this comic book character. Well, not just me, but we created La Salvadora, and so produced several issues of that, and I'm continuing to work on that as well.
Number
Uh,
9 is coming out soon. You're
yes,
Go
yes,
ahead.
I'm at issue number 9. So yeah, so I was able to combine these two talents of mine that uh, that has put me at this point. And so now I'm taking all that knowledge, and with the help of what's come to be known as AI and all the technology that has emerged in that field, now I'm able to take that same talent, that same ability, and just take it just to a slightly another level, the next level, where I can now make
Why don't
pictures.
we see the next level and
Oh,
get an
okay.
opportunity to be able to do it, and then we'll talk about what you're doing along the way. So this is several episodes of your next film. What is it entitled?
It's called Eclipse Protocol.
All right.
And
And anything you want to say to set it up for the audience before we start?
it's a cyberpunk anime inspired series of episodes featuring a
Roll
character
tape.
that's
Oh, I
okay.
think you
Well,
got it right
you'll see.
there. So Renee, would you roll tape, please?
Yes, sir.
Neo-Chiron, a city of lights, a city of lies. When the world went dark, they tried to rewrite the truth. The undergrid, where obsolete tech meets obsolete people. I was hired to locate a stolen data chip, supposedly a splinter of Wraith.
I'm telling you, Nyx, you can't trust these undergrid freaks.
Come on, runner. Stop being such a mother hen. Everything's on the upload.
I am not a mother hen, whatever the hell that is.
Hey, Trick, where's this special chip you supposedly have?
Yeah, I got it. Just don't ask where it came from.
Oh, great. Of course Vostek's goons would show up now. Now that I had the chip, it was time for me to disappear. Runner, I've retrieved the chip. I'm coming home.
Nyx, I'm picking up a spike in null transfer. Cut the uplink, now.
Asset located. Initiating remembrance sequence.
My head is burning. Wait, is that me?
Nyx? Nyx, are you all right? Answer me, damn it.
It's all right, baby. You're going to be fine.
I don't remember. Was that really my mother?
Nix, there was a spike in your neural uplink.
Too much data was burning through my head.
I'm sending a Medi drone to get you off the roof.
We were hired to infiltrate Zephyr Tech. We tracked down another splinter of Wraith. Wraith, the most powerful AI ever created. But the job didn't go exactly as planned.
So the acid is awake. Let's see just how good she is.
Hollow circuit units activated. Ready for deployment.
Nix, you've got hollow circuit units bearing down on you.
My disappearing act was courtesy of a hollow projector. Don't worry, runner. It's all under control.
She's good. Better than I expected.
This fragment, it knows something about me. Childhood. But was it real? Am I just digital code? Am I even human? Another night in the city, another broken dream. My existential crisis had to wait. I still had work to do. The Temple Road district, where Neo Chiron kept its dirtiest secrets. Sometimes, to stay clean, you've got to get your hands dirty. Kale Dre, Mr. Fix-It, and proprietor of the Lunar Lounge.
This key card will get you into Takamura Tower. Once inside, that vault thinks you're a virus or a ghost.
Let's hope I haunt well. The job was simple. Infiltrate Kenji Takamura's private data vault and recover a particular file.
Okay, Nix, you need to go right at the next junction.
I feel like a rat in a maze, crawling around these ducts.
Someone's watching. Movement in the southwest node cluster. Get ready, Nix.
Unauthorized personnel detected.
You're just code in a shell. I break both.
That file's not a subroutine. It's a neural backup. A living one.
They didn't just create me. They copied someone else into me. The ghosts in my head. They were screaming again. Nix? Nix? Don't you remember? Your real name is Subject 1179.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, Manny.
Thank you.
What do you want to tell us about this film?
Well, it originated as a hello doggy.
Doggy cameo.
It originated as a screenplay that I wrote about a year and a half ago, and it was meant to be a live action story. You know, still kind of the same setting, cyberpunk, futuristic, sci-fi, that sort of thing, with this character named Nix Karuta, who is a cyber mercenary. She takes on these jobs, exchanging data and stealing information and all that stuff. And the more I thought about it, I thought, this would be really more suited toward an anime type cartoon type deal, like Ghost in the Shell or Akira, those kind of things. So I started thinking about it, and I said, well, I wonder if I can do that with AI, like I was doing with Nick Temple, the noir detective story that I was working on, or am working on. And so I started, this went through a lot of iterations of what the character was going to look like and what some of the other characters were going to look like. And finally I got a set that I thought, okay, these are the characters. And so I started writing the story with a little help from an AI chat program, from both ChatGPT and Claude, just to kind of generate a few ideas.
The writer's room, right?
Basically, yeah, exactly. Basically a writer's room.
Where you get an opportunity to pitch ideas, pitch them back and forth, improving on them, and go. It's a very well, it's a well used concept within television.
Right, exactly. So, and so yeah, so then I started creating the characters and creating the video, and sometimes I'll actually create the images first and then come up with dialogue later. But I have a script that I'm using or going by. So it's not just random. I mean, actually, there's a plot line happening here, and I really kind of wanted to deal with ideas of corporate control, what a future society might look like, and what identity it's going to look like in the future. When so much of who we are is digitized, is involved in this in this digital universe now, and so how much more of that is how much is that going to advance in the future? So that's some of the issues that I'm dealing with in the story. So
What is it about this story and these characters that compels you on a personal level? Like, is it based on something from your life, or are these themes of your life? What are you learning about yourself as you're going through this particular project?
Good question.
Thank you.
That's a great question.
It's a Dennis Pardon question, so I ripped it off.
Which is why I was telling you how great it was.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, the love fest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's anything in particular, but I am interested in, and again, it goes back to a lot of my reading in science fiction, and just thinking about the future and thinking about where we are today, technologically, in society, and kind of projecting it forward, and in that vein, in that sci-fi vein of, okay, here's where we are now, how much, where are we going to be in 10, 20, 30 years,
No, let's I think we can actually shrink that down. Haven't you seen it just in the work that you have done with the AI program to where it is today?
Mhm.
Haven't you seen a significant increase in what we're doing in the digital world?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And that's
Uh,
just been a matter of months.
yeah, yeah. So, how much more advanced is it going to be? And what are but the important thing is not so much the technology itself, and that's what I love about science fiction is a lot of it isn't about the technology in and of itself. That's just basically a plot device. It's talking about the consequences of technology. What are the consequences going to be on us, on humans and society? And what are the ramifications of this increased reliance on technology, on this digital universe that we're building, and how's it going to affect us on a you know on a daily basis? It's like one of the taglines there said, information is currency, and it still is. You know, uh, I remember the TV. I think one of the networks will always flash this thing, this sort of rainbow thing, and said, the more you know,
Hmm.
uh, and and uh, and that's a lot of it. Knowledge. There's a saying, knowledge is power, but it's not so much the knowledge; it's how you use it and who controls it. And so those are some of the issues that are kind of near and dear to my heart, and that inform this narrative in this particular telling. And I just felt like doing it as in the anime tradition, which is and anime is just that's the Japanese word for cartoons, for animation.
Mhm.
And what I love about it is, American cartoons generally tend to be geared specifically toward children. You know, a lot of it because of Disney and Warner Brothers and all those. The Japanese have done is they said, no, this is not just for kids. They look at it as a storytelling technique and take it just as serious as live action. Uh, and and they realize that they can use this these cartoons to tell these incredible stories that really, if they try to do it as a live action, would be just it would be impossible. But you can do a lot of this stuff with animation. And of course, it's not all just super serious and super. I mean, you look at the Miyazaki stories, the Studio Ghibli stories, uh, like uh, Kitty's Delivery Service and things like that, which are much more sort of gentle, kind of fairy tale type stories that are just beautifully, be able to tell these folkloric stories that children can watch, but there's stuff in there for adults as well. But
Cool.
anyway, that's a whole other thing.
So where are you going with this story? Well, I understand you're going to have your own YouTube channel for your movies
Hmm.
that you're going to be putting up there.
Yes.
And so where are you going with the story? Do you see it being a contained piece, or do you see it being something that will be episodic as you're going along?
It's right now it's episodic. Uh, it's a series of episodes. I just, for the purposes of this show, I did combine the first three episodes together,
Right.
but there will be individual episodes. And in fact, I'm working on the fourth one right now, uh, finishing that up, and that'll be up soon. Or no, not up yet, but it will be. And I'm also developing a website that'll link to the YouTube, where there'll be much more. I'll be able to put up, character sheets and pictures and a little bit more behind the scenes stuff as
Right.
well. So it'll be a much more fuller experience, not just for this, but for, of course, Nick Temple as well. Uh, so hope to have that uh, uh, create that as well. So yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time to be a creator and to be able to do this sort of thing. So
So glad, Renee.
Yeah, Manny, one of the things that you haven't talked about are the relationships in Eclipse, because
mhm.
you're kind of a relationship guy. Now, I can see and hear that there's even political overtones, justice, human rights. There's a lot of that which you're
Oh yeah,
passionate about in your personal life. You are very interested in activism and uprighting the apple cart of wrongs done in society. So that you have that hero spirit, that champion spirit. And I think that's in there, but a lot of your work is relationship based. So I'm really interested in you talking about the characters in this and what we're going to see and like the relationship arcs and what that means to you.
okay. Well, the main character is Nix Karuta. That's the woman, the girl with the pink hair, who goes on the missions.
Mhm.
And her best friend and kind of support system, her support team, is named Runner, who's the young lady in the chair with all the screens and everything. She's her link, and she provides her with schematics and information and so forth. But uh, further into the story, we're going to find that there's a deeper link between them than than you see at first.
Mhm.
And again, it involves identity and involves who they actually are,
Mhm.
and how they came into this world, which is kind of unconventional. And the sort of the overarching villain of the story is this corporation called Vostek, and that's the man that you see sort of with the goatee and who sends out the soldiers with the red eyes and everything, and the masks, uh, named Victor Voss. Uh, and so, and we'll find out more about him as well and what his relationship is with Nix, uh, as the story progresses. So, yeah, there's friendship, and I said there's like you said it's about issues about freedom, and privacy,
Mhm.
and you know corporate control, and you know how, and again, it all comes back to information and knowledge and who controls it, and where do our right to privacy begins and where does it end, and where does because we have a lot of our information out online even right now. uh, the minute we purchase something online, even when we go on Facebook or any of the social media programs, all that stuff is, all our information is out there. Uh, and you hear about, identity theft and so on and so forth. And I think those are going to become bigger issues as
Yeah.
we
Of
go into
course.
the future. So,
So it's like it's so cool because it's kind of like an Isaac Asimov or Orson Welles or I think blanking on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and all that.
Jules
But
Verne.
Jules Verne, it's very
Yeah.
Jules Verne. It's because you're tapping into something that I feel like 50 years from now, 70 years from now, 100 years from now, someone can go back and imbibe of these projects and be like, wow, he saw this stuff coming even at a place. So I love that you're kind of ahead of the curve in that way. And of course, Dennis also is with his programming and AI and I and
So
what
are
he's
you,
doing.
and so are you, and
So,
all that you're doing. Well,
mhm.
thank you,
So I
Manny.
love
Thank
that.
you for thank you for coming in and sharing where you are and the continual growth that you are in your art and in your and all the work that you're doing. And so, thank you for being my friend and our and Renee's friend and our collaborator, because we're close in this, and I couldn't be prouder of you, and so grateful that we're able to premiere this and to show it to what's going to be.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I'm always a pleasure to be here and see you guys. So,
All right. Thank you, Manny. Renee, thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Thank
And thank you
you.
everybody for checking out, and just Manny will be giving you the links so that you can keep up with the stories, this and Nick Temple, have them all and continue, and everything that's going to come, because we're just at the beginning of seeing all of the creative output that you're doing, Manny. And I'm very proud to know you and love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here, Dennis.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.